on this computer. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm happy that you're having so much success.
Yes,
How's
yes.
have things been going? How have things been just in general?
Well, just in general, being a med spa owner and then being, full-time entrepreneur, I do so many different things. I
Hmm.
wear so many different hats. And then I'm a medical director to a lot of other nurses and stuff too. So just organizing and, getting stuff together, usual.
Are you a mom?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I got
Oh,
a my daughter's gonna be 2 tomorrow.
oh, you have a brand new baby.
Yep, 2. And then
Happy
my
birthday
son,
to
he's
her.
4.
That's 7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've been a medical spa owner for about a year now?
Yep, a little bit over a year. I opened up last year, March 22.
Okay. What type of medicine was you practicing beforehand?
So beforehand, I started out as a CNA, LPN, RN. So most of my background was in long-term care. I was in long-term care for a while. When I became an MP, I did like a lot of home assessments. I started out doing that. And then I just jumped right into aesthetics. I did a little bit, hospital, inpatient, outpatient, home care, some everywhere, but
So
mostly long term.
you have a hustler's mentality. If people tell you that, you're like, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yep, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna figure it out.
What was so you say you jumped right into aesthetics. What was like the determining factor when you like, okay, it's time for me to pivot to do my own thing?
For me, well, I always wanted to get into like the beauty industry, right? This is something cosmetics. I love cosmetics. I have that nursing background, so I always want to make people feel good. But what really got me into the aesthetics is just no, I knew from a long time ago that I was not going to be a nurse still pushing a car at 60 and 50 years old, right? I would be in a nursing home and I would see these ladies still pushing a car, and I'm just like, no, that's not going to be me. So that's what even pushed me further to further my career in nursing. And then what really got me into aesthetics because it was during COVID. I started seeing a lot of people who are non-healthcare professional. They were tapping into the beauty industry and they were killing it. I'm talking about estheticians or people who are not even licensed doing lashes, doing body contouring. And I also started seeing a lot of women going to get butt shots in the basement, braces in the basement. And that's what I knew. I said, hey, I want to create a safe place for women who look like me where they can come and get these safe procedures by
Yeah.
a trained healthcare professional. So I wanted to break that barrier and then just fill up that gap that we have of women who are not getting services by medical trained healthcare professionals.
And yeah, and then I'm happy that you said look like me. So it's like it's a win-win. And it's not to talk
Mhm.
about race or put race into play, but it does play a role when we have certain clients that come into our business, to our business practice, right? So
Mhm.
people who look like us feel more comfortable because we understand each other on some level, skin type, things like that. So,
Right.
and then it's usually a stigma amongst African Americans when it comes to like Botox fillers and things like that. But you'd be very surprised. I'm pretty sure you see it in your practice how many people actually get Botox and fillers.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win. It's not a lot of us in the industry represent each other.
Mhm.
What I usually get is people who look like me. They come because I look like them, and I get
Mhm.
other people that love African American features, right? For lip. So it's like it's a win-win at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is a win-win. And I'm finding that in my practice because I do have 50% are Caucasian, 50% are Black. So I think it is with our culture, we are just uneducated about these procedures. We want to get it done, but we're also not so forward with the information, right? Because like you said, the stigma and Black don't crack. But I think there is always been a lot of Black people who do it, but we just don't talk about it. So all the other culture, they're more forth with the information. They say, "Hey, I got this done." Where us, we're kind of like, we don't want everybody, to know,
Our beauty
and
secrets.
right, we don't want everybody to know, and then we want to get it done, but we just don't know who to go to. We're scared, we're uneducated about these procedures.
Yeah, and then that term "black don't crack" is so untrue. It's not even true. Yeah, we have the melanin that protects, as a protective barrier, but we don't wear sunscreen or, like, Black people can't get sun cancer. So it is a lot of education. It's more under education, we just don't know.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, you've been killing it for a while to be so new, and I have to agree with you about the safe space because a lot of people are just kind of executing and doing things like they flying out to
Mhm.
overseas just to get these procedures. Can you tell me a little bit about like when it comes to like because I know you do teaching as well. What do you think some barriers to entry that nurses typically face? I have my own. I think they may be uh, parallel to yours or kind of, but I just want to know your thoughts on why do you feel like certain nurses are afraid to get into the aesthetic industry?
Well, from my teachings, I've been teaching over a year now. What I find is that a lot of nurses are afraid, you know. They fear of not being able to be successful. Not only do they fear that, but they also fear when it comes to injecting people in their face, because
Yeah,
they think about a lot of they think about the liability, and things that can happen. So they are very fearful when it comes to injecting people in their face. They're like literally shaking. And I was like that too.
me
But
too.
I know that with anything, it's just like when you first start pushing a nursing cart, when you get into nursing, we were all scared. We were scared to pass a pill, let alone inject people in their face. So I think it's the fear of them not being able to be successful, the fear of them not thinking that they can do it, and just the fear of these injections, period, which is why my opinions are parallel to yours because people always go, or nurses, they always go at the IV hydration because they're used to it. It's easy, and I always say, listen, if there's no risk, no reward. So that's why I think they just go for the IV hydration is a lot more easier than they do a lot of advanced procedures when it comes to open up a medical spa
And
or body
that's what the
contouring.
money is. That's what the freedom is at the end of the day. Because if you squeeze low profit margins, you're not going to be able to leave the bedside. And I'm not saying everybody has to leave the bedside or have $1 million practice. That's not everyone's dream or goal. But when you get your first, and I'm pretty sure you experienced it, when I got my first like big sale, I was
Hmm.
like, I ain't never going back. You can't pay me that. I was like, yo, I made like 3 grand an hour. What's going on?
Yeah.
She was like, okay. I was like, wait, what? Because like I'm gonna just try it out. I'm gonna just try it and just ask. And I think it's also another stigma of being in the business for money as nurses. Like, oh, you only went to nursing school for money. Like, duh, is that not why you went to college or why you doing what you're doing? Because no one's gonna do anything for free because they like.
Right.
So I think that's another thing people are afraid to ask, like to sell, like sell themselves and ask, say,
Oh my
hey,
God.
can you this is what I charge. I did a lot of discounting in the beginning, afraid to ask.
Hmm.
Only I would change prices for anybody just long to get the sale. Like I don't want to fail. So if you can afford $6 a unit, I'm gonna give it to you for $6 a unit, even though I'm in the red when I do that. So I think just not having the courage um and self-worth. Like I'm worthy of action of money. I'm worthy of all things good. I'm worthy of these things. And a lot of people have insecurities and don't feel like they're worth it. Like I'm worth it's my birthright to have financial freedom. It's my birthright to be wealthy. It's my birthright.
Yeah.
I
And you
think
know what I think what it is, Dr. Reed, is that because we're nurses, we're not used to when we caring for patients by the bedside, we're not used to asking for money. All I gotta do is pick up an extra shift, my money is gonna get paid every 2 weeks. So I think the transition, it hurts us because we're not used to asking for money because we were not built to be salesmen. And even me first starting out, like you said, I was afraid too. I was just like, it's gonna be 600, or $800. I was scared
can't
too,
you
but
say it?
yeah, but when they said, "Okay," I was like, "Oh, okay." I was just like you when I got my first sale and I was like, "Oh my God." When I first did my first Botox and fillers procedures together and I made almost $1,000, in just that 1 hour, I was just like, "Oh my God, like this is real." But I knew starting off that I was going to do Botox and fillers because I knew that, like I said, I do want to have financial freedom. I do want to have higher profit margins. And then, like you always say on your lives, I can make 100 grand at the bedside. What am I here for? What are we doing? you know?
Exactly. Why risk it? Because it is risk. Like you said, no reward if you don't have any risk. And why pivot from one level to equal level? That makes no sense. You don't have you want to elevate. So I 100% agree with that. So when it came to what, I don't know that, how did you find me on social media? Was I like on a reel or something? I just kind of strolled up. He's like, oh, this girl looks nice. Or she seems nice. She's nice. Oh, this is funny. Because sometimes I do a little bit of a mix. How do you discover, how do we connect basically?
We connected because, honey, you don't play when it comes to those ads, okay? You had an ad. And that's why I came to your course. I'm like, I got to get in the room. I feel like I have to make the investments. I have to get in the room. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and I think it popped up as an ad. I think you were talking about like how much, the services, or how much you were making in your spa. And I'm just like, she's a nurse practitioner like me. She has her doctorate degree like me, she's doing the services. We have like so much in common. She's a Black woman, she looks very nice. I was like, I definitely need to tap in and, follow her. So it was one of the reels I think you had on Instagram.
Okay. It was probably a reel. I usually don't like boost and promote unless I'm selling something like a service. Maybe
Mhm.
I don't really boost posts. Sometimes I might just boost it just to, because the algorithm sucks.
Oh,
And
it
I'm
probably
like,
wasn't. It probably was an algorithm then. It probably wasn't like a ad. It was probably, Instagram would just show you these videos. I think that's probably what it
yeah,
was.
like recommended or suggested because it sucks
Yeah.
sometimes, right? You like, what the heck? Okay. And then maybe did you like start going through like my feed and stuff? Because I feel like I get a lot of DMs like, oh, I'm living on your profile. What
Mm-hmm.
what reel? So just for my own education, to I know better content to make, because I make content based on what people ask me. I do show
Mm-hmm.
a lot of wins, but I have losses too. I'm not always, profitable. I'm profitable overall in my business, but I got days when I only make 2 grand. I don't always make $5,000 and $6,000. But
Right.
uh I'm out of there. I work when I want to work. I get up when I want to get up.
Yeah.
So I value autonomy. That's what I value. Everyone has different values.
Oh,
I value
yes.
autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about? Even was it? I'm pretty sure it just wasn't one ad or one reel that you saw that you was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go ahead and I'm going to go fly out and attend her seminar to see what she's talking about.
So you want to know where the conversion happened at, right? How you
I want to
convert.
know where the conversion happened so I can make more of those.
I know that's right. I know that's right. What the convert? Where's the conversion,
What was
right?
the click?
Right.
I'm on my way
Click.
because you was on your
Right.
way, girl.
I was on my way, girl. You converted me so quick because I was on my way just for following you, not even that long. Then you say you had this class, and I was like, I'm there. So I think the biggest conversion is because, for one, you touch on a lot of pain points, right? You touch on a lot of pain points of current spa owners. So for me, um first of all, you're Black. We love to see our women, love to see, you got us doing our thing, shining. So I think that was number one. Number two, like I said, you had the education, like I said, you showed like I'm a nurse practitioner, my doctorate degree. But number three, you were talking about people who are currently like in spa, and like if you're in your spa, you more focus on people who are already in spa, which I think is really huge because we're lacking that. It's a lot of startup, but nobody's not really where it's a gap in between how to be profitable. It's a lot of startup, but how to be profitable and stay in business, we're lacking that. And it's because we don't know the knowledge of revenue, profit, skin, or building procedures. So I think after me watching you for a while, attending your lives are really, really, really good. It converts a lot. I have even lives myself. Next thing you know, I got bookings, I got people inquiring and asking questions. I think also too seeing your personality. So going live, being consistent with your reels, putting out real information that I can relate to as a med spa owner, and showing your numbers, talking about your numbers, but also talking about, what's really important is being profitable in your spa.
Thank you. So okay, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I'll
Right.
keep doing that.
You're doing,
I'll
yeah.
I'll keep doing that. I do feel like I have a blend of avatars, right? So I'm happy you use the word conversion and profit and things like that, because I think those words are, that terminology is usually foreign to med spa owners in general. And like, what are you talking about? Because we usually outsource advertising, and we've probably, I'm pretty sure you have. I've gotten burned through advertising agencies. Like, oh, I'm pretty sure when you log into your Instagram or your Facebook, you get slammed with get 30 custom patients in 25 days, or you don't pay, and those things just don't work.
Yeah.
And we have people that say they are literate in business for med spas, but don't even own a med spa. I can relate day to day. I know how it feels to have a discount shopper. I know how it feels when somebody have uh, unrealistic expectations. Like, we talked about this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what you want from me at this point. So I understand. And then your avatar, you know your avatar more than anybody, to any just big agency just trying to get your 15 or 2 grand every month and keep you a little happy. But you're like, okay, I need to grow. Where's the scalability? Because even though you might be getting me some people in the door, these are not the quality people. I might get a few gems, but okay,
Yeah.
I need volume, but I really need quality people. And I know you can't only treat quality people, you need a blend. But if we can have more, like I need more of these, and we can target people who are in the top 10 percent earnings and in the zip codes in the area that I live. Like, I need these, these people who got a little pockets a little deeper. And it's
Right.
because they usually give me the less problems too at the same time, right? That's a little different. So, okay, that's something to definitely take in consideration. And relate in regards to, so I want to talk about you first a little bit.
Mhm.
You teach uh, a lot of courses, right? Or just from what I see on your feed, you teach more clinical stuff, right? And then startups and also CNAs. So
Mhm.
so CNAs can do what?
So a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant, they can assist patients with like bedding, bathing, peri-care, assistance with showers and feeding and things like that, getting dressed. So
Okay,
I
so
have,
you
so I
have a
have a
program
CNA.
for them.
I have a
Okay.
CNA school. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I actually started both of my businesses last year with March 2022. I think with CNA we started a little bit early, maybe like January, but I got one big suite and I actually had my med spa. I was actually utilizing one of the rooms inside my CNA school, and it was pretty cool because it was kind of like cut off that my patients had, or my clients had like a different entrance, and that would be like separate from the CNA school. So some of my students wouldn't even know I was there, and I would do like, evening hours. Because I always believe in like starting out in one room suite, and then you kind of scale your way up. So I started there, and then I asked God, I was like, hey, expand my territory, within a year. I'm like, I want to be out of the CNA school and I want to be in a bigger spot. And like, he did it in 6 months. I went from one
Oh,
room suite to a 8 room suite. And now because I started doing classes and stuff too. I was doing a lot of services, started doing classes. I need like a bigger space. And then I just had like a lot of nurses who were reaching out who wanted to get into the med spa business. And like I said, we didn't have a lot of that here in Michigan. A lot of them were like RNs, so they need like a medical director, an OVP and an MP to oversee them, do their good paper exam. So I kind of opened like a little salon suites. So I had like 8 rooms, and then I kind of rent out the other rooms to the other nurses, and they have their own business. So not only do I teach like the clinical, because I feel like you could just go and get like a Botox and fillers course anywhere, but I like to also teach them how to have their own business as well, incorporated. So we go over Botox and fillers, but we also go over like the med spa like setup, things that you need to know.
yeah, to be successful.
Be successful.
Get people
Yeah.
in the door, because we need to get people in the door, because you can
Right.
have a certification but no patients mean nothing, right? Or no
Yeah.
visibility, right? Like, okay, nobody even know you there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have a lot of courses like that, because it's like once you take a Botox and fillers course, okay, you take the course and then what? You're just paying for the course. So mine's is 2 days. We go over, like I said, the course, but then we're talking about, hey, this you need a medical director. If you're going to have your own, you have to make sure you have good paper exams done. This is the EMR system that we use. These are the different text message marketing, email marketing, branding yourself, getting yourself out there and being on social media and like going to events and stuff.
Now, I'm happy you said being on social media. So I'm launching one, I've launched two people, but I'm launching a new nurse practitioner. So she's she's brand spanking new. So she rented a space. So she's launching, and she's like, I don't want to be on social media. Honey, you don't want a business if you don't want to be on social media. Jesus Christ. People need to know who's doing the injections. That's what the trust building coming in. That's what the conversions come at, right? So that's the
Yeah.
nurturing, 7 to 11, right? 4, 7, 11. So at least 4 hours of content, 7 touch points, and people feel like they know you, right? You connect with people and they're like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and book an appointment because I keep seeing her. I like her. I'm engaging. When they start engaging with you, that's a different step in the customer buying process, right? So you
Oh,
have to be on social media. So she just created, I'm mentioning her because she created her first post um like 2 days ago, and I commented and she was like, oh, I'm so proud, like a proud mama. Like, girl, you gotta do it. Especially if you're gonna be the one doing the services, you gotta be on social media.
you have to be on social
You
media. I
don't have
keep
to do the
telling
other
them.
stuff. You just talk about what you're doing. That's it.
Yeah, even I tell them too. I say even when you setting up your suite, even when you going to get products, everything should be recorded. People want to see you like where you started. They look at that like, oh, I remember I was following you since you started, since you first had your space, and you were talking about how you know, doing this and doing that. You were recording the time lapse, so you setting up everything to now you're this. So people don't. Social media is really big. People come to my office all the time. They follow my personal page, my regular page. How was the kids doing? I seen you last weekend, you know, on this, you looked so good. And they always commenting on my posts, you know, they connect and they build a relationship. And I tell them, they're like, well, I could just have a business page. I say, don't matter. They're going to find out who you are. It's
Oh
no,
yeah.
don't.
Oh
They're going to
yeah.
find out you're the business owner. They're going to find out. So you might as well start making that connection now.
Yeah, and it's like you become a little. It's what I do my marketing a little different. So it's like you become like a little mini celebrity in your hometown and your little geographic location, right? Because
Mhm.
people see me so much in the area because the way I do my marketing and on my business page for sure, which prompt them if I ever do a reel, I connect. Sometimes I connect my personal and like, oh, or people might see me on TikTok and it's like, well, I know her, and they will vouch for you, and that's like it's almost like the beehive. You say anything about Beyonce, you cancel, honey, by 4 minutes. They will come for you. So
Yeah.
it's just that connection, because the way our brain is called, the way our brain is set, we can't distinguish between 2D and 3D. So me and you talking right now, my brain doesn't know you're not in my physical space. So we
Mhm.
connect and we're just connecting. That's why we have that same emotion. We have emotions when people, singers and artists die. I boo-hoo when Prince died. I'm like, oh God, like I knew the man, because I love his music. But I never met the man a day in my life. So that's why it's important to be online and have an online presence. You don't have to do everything what everybody else doing. You have to worry about likes and algorithms. Just talk about the services. Let people know what you're doing and where you are. You could be a great injector. You can have a room, but you ain't have no money. People don't know where you at.
Exactly. Yep. And so many people are afraid to go live. I'm like, you have to go live. You have to talk about your services. How, especially in our community, how are they going to be? Oh, they hear Botox and they just cut you out, but if you educate them and let them know what Botox does, and what it's really for, then they are more likely to book. People book all the time because you have different buyers. You got emotional buyers, you got people who's going to buy right now, people going to buy later. Then some of them, they're going to watch you because they come to my office and they say, oh, I've been watching you for a while. And then I finally decided, I was going to book. So you got different stages, of buyers, but yeah, consistency and being online is so important.
Is vital to the success, right, of your business. Sorry, it's my kid. I think he's probably on his way home. Okay, it's fine. He say he's stuck in traffic. So I just wanted to get like feedback when about the course. So as you know, we had a 2-day event. It was my very first one. I've teached in the past, like online, and I've had one-on-ones throughout the last year or so. I didn't want to teach from a weak frame. I wanted to make sure I was profitable, and it's the things that I was learning, I was testing, and then getting results before I even started to post about it. But like you said, I was mostly on TikTok. I was posting a lot, just my journey. Like, oh, I'm going to a new space today, just because COVID turns me into a TikToker, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to my new space today, just regular. And I was going like 5, 6, 20 times a day because, I had nothing else to do. It was COVID, like most people, But, but so I had a course in a seminar, a 2-day event in Naperville, which was really good, to be honest with you. I was so nervous. I'm like, oh God, I talk on
Really?
online. I'm not really good at public speaking. My speech class when I was in college was the best. I hate standing in front of them students. I ain't like half of them anyway. But
Okay.
it almost felt that I was connected to you guys because I kind of knew about you guys. So it was like it's a meetup. That's kind of how I almost felt like it was a meetup in a way.
Yeah.
Because I engaged with people, with all of you guys, at least once or twice, a few times, honestly, on social media, whether that's DMing, liking, commenting on posts. But I just wanted to get just your insight on the course. I know we did a little videoing there, but just
Mhm.
get, what what about the course that made you feel that it was what value did you get from the course basically?
So, I want to say thank you for having a course. It was amazing. I'm glad you finally stepped out and decided to do it. I couldn't tell you were nervous at all. So the most value that I got from the course is just learning, of course, the packages, because that was like a really my initial, reason for like coming because I was like, I need to know how to properly build client packages versus like Botox and fillers, like how they all connect. I wanted to know what would be beneficial and better for each, patient when I'm building their treatment plan because I'm still kind of new, right? So I'm just I've only been in aesthetics for a year. So I needed to know more about the skin and how to build packages, understanding the client of what can really truly help them, and also allow my business to be profitable at the same time, right? Because like you always say, people love results. So I know I wanted to get, better results with building these packages. So that was most invaluable. But also like the med spa compliance too. I really love that part of the course, learning like hey, you have to make sure you're compliant with like business insurance, right? With your employees, when you hire your employees, make sure you're doing this a certain type of way, making sure that everybody's OSHA trained and HIPAA trained, making sure that you have the correct malpractice in case anything happen. So just like really making sure that the med spa is like really compliant with the state guidelines, learning more about the products, right? Learning more information about the products. um what else? I really love that big packet that you gave us, to have something tangible, like you always say, and something refer back to when I'm looking into services. Oh, also knowing how the pricing, right? Because we don't always know like the pricing, right? Knowing how to set up the pricing. Like you said, like not being you don't have to be the most high, you don't have to be the most low, but knowing how to be like in the middle and understand how to price the packages based on your experience and based on like the time that you spend with them, also learning how to assess the client. I can go on and on. I can go on and on. I don't know how long this video gonna be, but the last thing, but you learn. I'll just say one more. Just learning how to properly do a consultation too, and learning how to assess the client better, and knowing like the lingo and how to talk to them. Being more of a salesman, but getting them to understand, the value of these procedures.
Exactly. Exactly. And from a
Hmm.
business perspective, I think that people just don't understand business basics, right? So when it comes to like building out packages in something called KPIs, key performance indicators, what metrics are we tracking, right? So you can't scale anything you're not measuring because you need to know where you are to know where you're going, right? So where am
Right.
I in this moment? And a lot of providers, nurses alike, they open a business, they get 10,000, and they think the whole 10 grand theirs. That's not true. I know a lot of cash-based businesses do a lot of other stuff, but
Hmm.
how can we make sure that not only that we're compliant, that we understand the basics of business when this come to goals? Because at the end of the day, we all want to grow, right? I think that's everyone want to grow. People may want to back out a little bit, hire other people to render services. You don't want to always work in the business. You want to work on the business, right? So understand marketing, understand who you're targeting, what type of services will be beneficial to this person, and then what type of services should you render, right? Based on your market, doing a market analysis, a feasibility study, a self assessment of financial health. Like, okay, where can I cut back a little bit so I can invest in my business? And also leveraging business credit, other people's money. We do it all the time. We use other people's money, their personal credit, to buy purses and shoes and cars. We finance everything else, our homes. So why wouldn't you finance your business? That makes no sense, right?
That's
Like,
another thing I learned too that was really valuable. Like you taught me, like you said, how to scale, understand, like having an exit plan, because I really, I was thinking about, you hear people about, having exit plans and selling like their business, but you really made me understand like the importance of tracking, because if you are going to scale and if you do want to potentially sell your business one day, or a franchise or whatever, you have to be able to show these people like, hey, this is where I started, this is where it's going. Numbers, numbers is matters. I think you really made me pay attention to like the numbers. You made me pay attention more to like my personal credit. Like I feel like it's good, but I feel like it can get even, better, so I can like scale the business more. So it was really valuable to me in so many different ways, because like I said, I'm a year in. I'm new, I'm a year in, and I'm glad that I was able to take your course, because like you said, when you first started, you're all over the place. You're trying to figure out things, Now that I feel like I'm in a place where I can, like, okay, I need to go to the next level, I'm just so happy that I took the class now and not waiting until and moving away. I've been moving for the next 4 or 5 years, because I just been like all over the place, just okay, taking money here, honey. I use my business card for all my personal stuff, and it's like I should be more paying myself and using my personal, for my personal, separating the two. So like that's why when I took your class, I was just like, this is serious. This is not for play. Like you gotta get more serious in like this business, because like when you said at the course, like you're trying to scale and you trying to meet them goals and that exit plan. If you can't sell your business, if you can't show, numbers, right?
yeah. And I think most people want an exit plan. I was transparent. The first day I met y'all, I'm like, look, in 5 years, I probably won't this spot, right? That'll mean I'll have 9, 10 years in the game. I'm out. I'll probably always own one, but it won't be as big or small. I just wouldn't, just sort of brick and mortar part. But I still want my Botox and stuff. So I still own an entity, so I can just, go get my stuff. Go get my stuff, right? Get my treatment services and my needling and all that good cool scope and all that great stuff.
Or come in for your VIP client. You got a VIP. I might just step in for a VIP client.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So when it comes to exit plan and that evaluation, you need to show that your business is stable and profitable, right? And the more lines of revenue, the more streams of revenue that you can show and demonstrate this ability of the business, the higher the valuation. Usually it's 3 to 5 times. So that's why I talk about memberships. People are like, well, how do I get somebody to buy a membership? How do I even sell that? Honestly, if you cannot get at least 20 people to give you $200, which is not a lot of money, you just may not be that good, to be honest. Because that number, that metric should be relatively easy. So you should have $4,000 coming in every month. And that should and that should be your KPI. That should be one of your goals. My memberships covers the cost of the product, right? And the rent. So that's something. So now your overhead is being reduced, right? A little bit, because your obligation, right? Like, okay, now the other stuff, I can kind of take the rent part or the lease part out of my OPEX, my operation systems budget, right? Because my memberships is covering that. So many ways that you can structure business, because in the day, business is just math. And it's simple math, but it can be complex because we're not measuring it. So it looks scattered. It's like your very first day in freshman school, being a freshman looking at the board at algebra, like, what the hell, M over the 2? Why they even put letters in? Who told them to do this? And that's almost how people look at me when I talk about certain numbers. I'm like, well, this is basic math. We're not going into, we're not doing all of this. So we're just going to basic math. It's not algebra. This is 1 + 1 = 2. Divided by this times 3. Now, it's the way we structure it, but it can definitely be measured.
Yeah. So I needed all of that. I needed that.
Yeah. So do you have an exit plan?
Yeah, so my exit plan, I do, like I said, I love doing the services. I love, having a med spa, but it's not necessarily like at the end of the day, we all want financial freedom. We all want to be making money while we sleep, right? And not having to wake up, and go anywhere and do stuff like that. So eventually I do want to, my exit plan is not necessarily like sell the business, but just to be more on the outside of things, not actually working in the business, not actually
Place
the one
yourself.
who's doing right, replace myself, which I have. I hired a few nurses and I got them doing like some procedures, but I need to get them to like where like they can be like me and knowing how to, do certain things. So that's my plan. It's just like hiring staff and working more on the side of business and not having to be the one who's like always doing the procedures, and then eventually just continue to franchise because if I want to sell the business one day, but I'm like you, I still like feel like that's like my baby. I still want to be in it some type of way, and I might just want to step in and like see VIP clients when I have to and just make sure things, be a boss, make sure y'all good, all right, see y'all later.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times I see medical spas, they get too attached to the business, right? Like you said, oh, it's my baby. I get that. Dr. Eva Aesthetics is 100% my baby. But when
Mhm.
you can't sell a business when you are the business,
Yeah,
right? So we have to look at the business like a product. The product must be able to run like an engine independently of you. And
right.
that's this place that you're trying to get to, which I understand. So I
Hmm.
actually had a consult today. Someone, she's she has a med spa, and I was like, well, you need to replace yourself first. There's a few other steps, but in the process of replacing yourself, you have to create something called standard procedures, standard operation, SOPs, right?
Hmm.
But you have to do it for what you do too. So when you train somebody, you have an expected predictable outcome. So how you open, how you close the business, the way it smells, everyone has that's predictability. You cannot go to no McDonald's and the burgers taste different. They have systems in place for everything. They flip the burgers by 8 minutes. They put the mayonnaise. Everything is in order. So in case you have to replace somebody, they just move bodies around. So
Exactly.
systemizing is key when it comes to the operational part of the business, and that's what makes it a franchise. And it makes it a franchise when you are backing out. But everything you do, start writing down little things that you do every day, like on a day to day. Like, what do I do? Every day, and start writing down. How do I do this? How do I do a consult? How do I do this step by step? So when you're teaching someone, and then patients, they may want you. You may have a few VIP, but then you introduce and like, oh, she does what I train, and then they have a predictable outcome. So they're
Hmm.
not Dr. Britt dependent.
Right.
At the end of the day, they want the same results. So that's why they want you,
Right.
right? So we got to start creating those standard operational procedures for our job. It's like job description, right? But we need to have SOPs in place for us so we can, I'm like, okay, I'm coming in Friday.
Yep, that's one
I'm
care.
just
That's like
popping
me
up.
having assistants. Yep, having assistants and delegating tasks and doing all kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Just trying to. I think I'm in a point. I'm just trying to be more structured. Okay, I'm making
Mhm.
the money. I got clients coming in. I am getting clients. Of course, we always want more. So I'm at the place of trying to get more clients in the door and just being more structured so I can eventually move myself like all the way out. Well, like I said, they always say your business should be, it don't matter if you're sick on vacation, your business should always be, running. So I'm trying to move more into that direction.
And that's a different level though, right? And then you
Hmm.
have to learn how to manage people. People really can't be managed, but you have to create a culture to where they want to do the services. They want to be on time. They're happy there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, so we took the course, you took the course in August. We text a little bit and you said you had a really big month in October. Tell me a little bit about that month.
Yeah, so October was really big. 'Cause I looked at my bank accounts. I was like, oh my God. So like I said, I do like a lot of other stuff. And that was between like the spa, the classes, that I offer as well too, with the spa, the CNA school classes. But what really helped me like get to that number too was like selling like some big packages too. So when I came to the class, you taught us about like how to sell like $3,000 packages, how to make it more valuable, which was I don't know if you want me to talk about the packages on here specifically, but you just taught us how to sell $3,000 packages. And I think that really helped, because I took your class in August. Yeah, and I came back like that next month and I had sold like a $3,000 package based on what you told us. And I was just like,
Give me
what?
more of those.
Right, right. I was like, that's what Dr. Reed said. Like, I just need to find more people like her, Like, I just need to find more people like her and pay, no problem. I think I may have even sold more than it. Maybe it may have been like 2.
When you
Yeah,
first came back,
I'm thinking so.
you stepped
I
into
said
it.
one before. No, I know I definitely saw one when I came back. I have to look at my numbers if it was in October for sure. But yeah, but based on like when I came back from that class and I was like, hey, this is some stuff I'm going to implement. This is some stuff I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do my consultations. This is how I'm going to talk about the product, how valuable, it is. And I think really what it is, it was like the education when you talked about like how this service is going to benefit the client, how it's going to help, with their
Self-education.
skin. Because I did not know. I was like, damn, I'm offering this service and I didn't even know we do that. I'm like, I know it did this, this, and that, but I didn't know it did this, and I didn't know if you put it with that, it sound like this, so it makes it, you realizing like it's a lot more value to it, and then when you offer like the skin course too, just listening to the skin course and learning more of the language and how to talk, because like I said, is information. When people have the information and you let them know the value, if you make them see the value in the package, they will spend this money, because people are going to want what they want,
Yes, so it's almost the same. Think about like a Rolls Royce. All cars have 4 wheels, right? And they all take you from point A to point B. But why would somebody go buy a Rolls Royce? Because the way it makes them feel important, valuable in the eyes of society, right? Right? Or Rolex. All watches do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like people will go spend money on a purse, they'll stand in line at Louis Vuitton. And they got security now. You can't come in when you want to. They're going like, how many people in, how many people at the store? You'll wait. They'll wait for that transformation because it's the way the products make them feel. So we have to convey that. We have to sell the vacation, sell the transformation. No one cares about the benefits of the device or, oh, it does this. Okay, we know that. But how do we speak to them in a language that they can understand so they can, like, I'm going to look like that? I'm going, all right, y'all take payment plans? We sure do.
We sure do got that good care credit. And I think another thing was like, when you are on these procedures, you have to be confident in what you're talking about too. That's another thing I learned from you. Like, and I noticed that too. I always preach that too. Like you have to be confident, right? But it's confident. It's the difference from selling Botox or a syringe or filler when you're selling a $300,000 package. You have to really know what you're talking about. You have to really be confident. So I think that's what I learned from the course too. And the only way you're going to be more confident is if you have the knowledge. People think about like, oh, you spending this amount of money, you're taking this class, you're taking this course, but there's no price on the knowledge, because if I take your class, if I'm spending $5,000 to take your class, that's only $5,000 I'm spending one time. That's a one-time payment of a knowledge that I'm going to have that's going to allow me to be successful for a long time, that's going to help me be more confident in what I'm offering, know what I'm talking about, and overall building this treatment plan that's very valuable to me and the client. I think it was a lot of nurses, that's where they're lacking. If you don't have the knowledge, you can't go in there selling a $3,000 package if you don't.
If you can't render the $3,000 worth of services, meaning that you can't make the transformation happen, right? Because I can sell you anything, but then you have the patients have high expectations, but you deliver poor outcomes, right? So
Right.
you want to set a realistic outcome, but you want to give an exceptional service. And then you look in the mirror like, oh my God. And those where the referrals come in at, right? The best marketing strategy is when they have referrals, because it's free. You already paid for it once.
Yeah.
They tell everybody. I get people bring their sister, their mama.
Yeah.
Your husband, like, I told him he needs more hair. I'm like, okay, bring your husband in. So when I do my consults personally, I sell because I'm good at sales overall. I had to learn how to do that. But it's, to me, sales is just a transfer of belief. I know something and I'm trying to get you to believe what I know. But I know with conviction, this is what you need. So it's me educating, diagnosing, showing before and afters, because I have a whole consult and sales process. And I do it myself the same way every time. I have a 99% sale close rate. Everyone who comes in my office, I close. They buy something.
Right.
If I have to stack offers, is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to stack offers with tangibles, the things that cost me $25. I could say a value belt. They could, this skincare product is $150. I'm going to give it to you for free, but it cost me $20.
Yeah, and that's one of the strategies I use. I was like, hey, this package, but it's also going to come with this. It's going to come with this. It's going
Stack
to
on
come.
them offers. Yeah, give it to them. Even if it's an extra service that costs you a little bit of nothing, stack on something that doesn't cost you a lot. If it even costs you
Right.
time, like someone's like an M scope, they got to be in there 30 minutes. You know what? You know what? If we act, I like to reward action takers. Let's go ahead and, since it's 4, let's do. I'm gonna give you 6. I'm gonna give
Right,
you
let me write
6.
that. Let me write that down now.
I like to reward action takers. So
Action
let's do
taker.
this.
Okay.
Let's do 6. I'm gonna give you 2 more. This is $2,000 worth of treatments, 2 extra. That makes sense. And then that's all. I don't even hook them up. My coordinator can hook them up to the machine. I'm out of there. It's a time thing. I just occupy in a room for another 30 minutes, but I got the sale. We just closed $4,000.
Yeah, just like I was actually, somebody called today. She was asking about like the weight. She's like, well, what do you offer for your weight loss program? It has this, like, how much is your, semaglutide, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, well, semaglutide is this. And we actually got a special for Black Friday. And I was like, well, actually, and if you do book in the month of November, you're going to get like a free liquid lipo session. Liquid lipo doesn't cost me much. It don't take me long. I was like, you're going to get a free liquid lipo. She was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I might consider that because I just taught another med spa. And I like that you offering that, that liquid lipo with it. I was like, yeah, so that definitely worked. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more often.
Of course. Of course, of course. Yeah, so we definitely want to, it's the language and lingo. It's not technically it's a sales strategy, but it is. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's gonna, and then a person that can spend an amount of money, they usually have birds for the flock together, right? They got friends who can spend an amount of money. And you do have good results. That's a referral. So your LTV increases, your average customer spend increases. So it's like a domino effect. It definitely is. So, but on average, I know you started a year ago. On average, before you say you kind of around like 20 grand a month for the most part.
Yeah. We usually around, I'm averaging about 20 grand. Yeah.
Okay, and then after when you implemented the packages, you don't have to say the name of the actual treatment that that I recommended or that's in the book, but after you implement it, I'm just curious on what package you sold. You don't have to name the actual treatments. Up to you. I mean, I just want to know which one was like. Oh, was it more fillers? Was it some skincare products? Was it more of of course, it's a comprehensive treatment.
Well, I think it was like more like the micro needle one, because that one, before I even came to your class, I didn't really package it with like other stuff, so it was like the micro needle one. It was like a micro needle one and like a threads. So now I was just normally offer like some threads, but now when I came to the class and you said like, hey, like talking to the clients, like, it's going to take this first, then we should do that, then top it off with this. So it was that package.
Yeah. So building on those. Yeah. So you have the transformation of the skin.
Right.
So after you implemented the package, you came right back. You was like, look, this is what we're doing.
Oh, honey, yes.
This
I'm
is what we
in
do.
it to win it. I'm in it to win it,
I know. I love that though.
I'm in
I
it
like
to win
that.
it. Like I don't want. I'm 32 now, so I'm in it to win it. I'm trying to retire by the time I'm 40. I'm in it to win it. Like we said, what are we doing here? I can make 100,000 as an MP or somewhere else. I need to figure
Less
it
stress.
out. Less stress. I love, like you said, my autonomy. I love being able to wake up. Like I'm only in my spa 3 days a week. Like today's Monday, I was just doing back office stuff. Like I love being able to, be with my daughter. She was with me all day, not having to Monday through Friday or work these 12-hour shifts or 8-hour shifts. I love being able to be in my spot only 3 days a week for 4 hours. You know, like I said, we have up and downs. I got some days where I'm making 3,000, some days I'm making 2,000, but like that's still a $5,000 week. You know, for only working 2 or 3 days out the week. You know what I'm saying?
Not even
So
12.
yeah. And I love being my business owner. I love being a boss. I love being able to walk in the office and, you know, with my white coat on, you know, and also just helping people, you know. Like I said, creating that space for women that look like me that can have a safe place to go. So I love this industry. And I'm in it to win it, not to read. I'm in it to win it. I'm not afraid to invest and to learn it, because we're not going to get, I'm pretty sure you spent a lot of money before you even got to get you to where you are, you know. And I think a lot of people are afraid of investing in themselves. You know, like I said, sometimes they don't see the value because they don't understand, you know, the process and what it takes.
I think also they feel guilty. Usually when people who are codependent or caregivers, when they do something for themselves, they feel guilty about doing things for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, maybe I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Wait for
But
what?
like I said, they'll go get the bag. Like me, I had just came from New York. I went there for a PDO training. I went to Dior and spent $6,000 on the bag. And then I see you on live and you like, you know, you spend these bags and you need to be more it's education. I was like, yeah. I said, let me go ahead and pay Dr. Reed. I said, because you can't go around and spend this money on a bag and then not put it towards, you know, education too. Now, like if you're gonna buy a bag, you gotta put some money into this investment in education too, right?
Keep big heavy on the word investment.
Mm-hmm.
Investment. It's not spending. It's only spending when you don't have a return.
Right.
So they don't understand that they're going to have a return. Like you're going to have a knowledge base. Like, okay, now I can actually make money outside of working for somebody else, outside of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So you say your biggest month. Let's talk about numbers. So when you came back, you sold a package for 3,000 right away after taking the course. And then in October, you had a really big month. You usually hang around 20 grand, but I know you do some courses and teaching and stuff. You
Yeah.
had a crazy month in October. You made how much in October?
October, it was like, I think altogether, one bank account was like 38,000. My other bank account was like 21,000. So and that was just for the month of October, looking at my bank statements of how much money was being deposited in. So that was almost like almost a 60 grand month, you know, almost maybe like around, you know, 58, 59, 50. Yeah, that was almost a 60 grand month for sure.
Did you reinvest some?
Well, you know, that's just like the revenue, you know, the profit. The
Right.
profit may be about like 40 because, you know, I had to buy products and, you know, stuff like that with, you know, rent and everything, you know, going on.
But
So,
that's still a big month, especially
yeah,
that's 3 times your average.
right.
Still a big month because now you're like, I'm not afraid to ask for money. I'm creating packages. This is what we're doing. And then as you become more skilled and you may get other devices and things like that, you can do $6,000, $7,000 packages. I do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
I do
that's
it
what
all the time. $6,000, $7,000 packages. And we talk about devices. I'm like, get a device to have multiple modalities because, or something that's operate that can operate independently of you or if someone else is doing it. So something that's delegatable and operational independently of you. You have
right.
an esthetician. Some of the devices in their classes, you don't even need to be esthetician. You can just hook somebody up.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I want people to know too, like they always tell you, like, oh, well, your first year, you're not going to make much, you're not going to do this. Like, this is a profitable business, you know. By me only being like my first year, like I said, March 22 last year, I had gross at the end of the year 100,000 just in the one business alone, and that was just for the med spa. Then that's gross another 100 grand. That's just for the training courses, you know. Just in the year alone, never thought that I would even, you know, get there. I was prepared to take a loss the first year. I was like, okay, we're gonna have some losses. So people should know too, like if you do the work and you stay consistent, like this can be a profitable business. So me starting there, and I know by continuing like on this path, investing myself and doing having the business structure set up right in the next 3 or 4 years, you know, I just know it's gonna get better. So
Oh
thank you. I really appreciate
yeah.
everything that you do for the people.
I'm doing it for the people. I really do. Um, so would you definitely recommend the course to other people?
Oh, definitely. Like if you are, especially if you already had a med spa if you already got a med spa and you're not making at least 10 grand a month, let's just start, because some people, you got to start with some low numbers, but if you're not making at least 10 grand a month in your medical spa, because some people not even making that. If you're not making, you should be at least making 10 grand. If you're not at least making 10 grand a month, you need to figure out, you need to invest. You need to go to training courses. Before I went to a lot of, mentorship and training. I'm always investing in myself. You need to invest into learning how to set your business up right. The Med Spa Business Academy was amazing. She talks about how to set your business up right, but also just most important, how to be profitable. Because if you sit around doing these B12 shots and this IV hydration and you still working at the hospital, I was able to become a full-time entrepreneur in 9 months after opening my business, 9 months. So if you still working in your job in the hospital and you want to leave, because we always say, oh, we want to leave our job, you need to take this course to understand the med spa business for sure. Need to take the course med spa business.
Yes.
So you can be successful and profitable.
Yes. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, my kid just walked in the door. I'm like, you need to be quiet. I appreciate you talking about it and being real. I think a lot of people, I do feel that that's why I created like the second, like the intro that went the 90 day to start, because I wanted to create something that if you're new in the industry and you're trying to get into this, where you start at, right? And it's not to like discredit or discourage nurses, but I'm like, or nurse practitioners, if you don't know anything, start here, like start setting up your business, start here. And then once you kind of get your feet wet, then you can, do the big course. If you want to come do a big course, that's fine. And I know like your mentee, she was like, don't you first, she told me I'm happy I came, because she said she was on one of my lives. What's her name again? She came to your Botox.
Yeah, she came to my my course. Yeah, Rashida.
Yeah, and she was like, I know maybe you shouldn't say that not coming to the course, not paying $5,000 and things. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, you can. I mean, you'll set everything up. It's like, you'll be one and done, but then you'll have a book and you kind of refer back to. Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't even have that. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to do my best to not really meet you where you are, but to create something so you can start there, so you can get your feet wet. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you think $5,000 is a lot of money, then maybe you shouldn't open a business, to be honest with you. I mean, and then you need to have leverage, right? You need to have leverage, and leverage is capital. Money is leverage. If you don't have money, then you don't have leverage, and you'll fail. You'll close your doors.
Yeah, I like that you're doing that, because I think some people who maybe did attend the course, maybe like a lot of stuff they didn't understand at the time. It kind of flew over their head. So I like that you're doing like the intro, then once you understand this, we can go to, this. But you'd be surprised. Many people are like knowledge deficient. I went to another class on Sunday and somebody was asking what a virtual address is. And I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, oh my God. So it's a lot of information that people lack, and it begin to be too much, if they don't really understand.
Yeah. And I think some people want more like a done for you, but I can't build your business for you. And if I was to build your business for you, it's going to cost you way more than $5,000. Like, it's going to be like a mortgage payment. It's going to be heavy. Okay.
Right.
I've done one-on-ones and I charge $20,000, and that's for 3 months to help you and help you launch. And if you like, well, I need more than that, I ain't the person. I'm just not the person. And I appreciate your feedback, because that's why I asked on the live, because I had one person like, I just feel like I just don't know where to start. I'm like, well, this is where you start. Like, it's in the book. Like, you have an actual book. It's like 200 pages. But I mean, build business credit, like leverage other people money. Like, it's not hard. And then a lot of the stuff, especially when it comes to business credit, you can like find on YouTube if you don't want to look. So I just compress and just also put in the actual course, what I did, right? How I was able to get 100,000, how I was able to get 250,000 in capital, like actual money. But then you really can't get capital if you don't have revenue. So I need you to start making money, right? I
Right.
need you to start making money first, right? So get your business credit up, do those things and start making money. So start here. So that's when okay, maybe you just start here, building the business credit, understanding the industry. Because all men are not created equal. Everybody don't do
Right.
the same service, everybody don't do the same thing. And then how to stand out, be a unicorn, how to create package. But that's the package creation, all the other stuff is actually in the advanced one, right?
Right.
Because it's not, it could be too heavy for someone. So it's very intro. So even people who signed up for, which I was grateful for, sucked on the Zoom, but I'm going to do another one. But even people who just really don't want to put that investment, or they open their med spa and they just
Mhm.
fail, they just feeling so bad. Like you have no idea how many consults people request. I'm like, mm-mm.
Yes, but anytime you need me to come like on a webinar, I'd be happy to, come on, let them know my experience and let them know, everything I'm doing and how it helped me. So just let me know. Great. Anytime you need me to come on
Yeah,
live, come on a webinar and just tell, about my experience, I'm happy to, because the information is very valuable for
I
sure.
appreciate that. And I'm making it better every day. I'm learning every day. And I'm just kind of just conveying what I know what works in my business and what got me to this point. And I think everybody should have an expert.
Yeah, Dr. Reed, the course was amazing. I was just I was kind of taken back. I was like, then we get this big old book. I mean, the PowerPoints and all the information. It was structured and it was very organized and it was very well. It was very good. It was good. For that to be your first one. So I was like,
Oh
damn,
yeah.
give me the manual shit. I was like, damn.
You're like, give me the manual, give me the manual. I'm happy that you actually utilizing it. So that's very important. So I'm not sure if you remember Dr. Josie who's a side of us. She's doing good. She's utilizing the actual information. Everything I tell her to do, she's like, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. I'm like, that's good. That's what I want you to do. Um, at the end of the day, I want everybody to be successful. That's it. I want you to be able to provide for your family because it's not enough of us that's financially free. In-house slavery of the healthcare industry because it is a very stressful environment. I've been in nurse since I was 23, so it was very hard for me. And I was like, I'll do anything to get out of this. I'll do anything. It was from racism to bullying. You know how nurses can be like, it's just too much. It's too much, and it just takes you away. You go away from your kids to do this, and it's like I used to
Mm-hmm.
feel horrible leaving my son at night. I used to work nights. I felt horrible and tired during the day, but I had to make the money which I would
Yeah.
have done sooner. But I didn't know what I didn't know, but I would have done it completely differently. That's why I create the courses and the digital products first. So people can start there. I'll be doing another one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll definitely invite you to that. It'll be sometime maybe in February. We'll see February, March. It's cold here. Maybe come out of Florida. Um, and also I was thinking about doing, and this is off, I can stop recording just to ask you, it doesn't really matter if I record this now, but pause.